Starship Serial Number 1, or SN1, was the second full-height prototype of the Starship program. Initially dubbed Starship Mk3 Mark III, the rocket was the successor to the Mk1 and Mk2 vehicles. The prototype was destroyed during testing on 28 February 2020, when the fuel tank ruptured near the thrust puck. This prompted SpaceX to scrap the following prototype and adapt SN2 into a test tank to focus testing on the structure of the thrust puck itself and welding quality. Starship Serial Number 2, or SN2, is a retired Starship prototype and test tank, designed to facilitate targeted testing on the structure of the thrust puck and welding quality, following SN1's destruction during a cryogenic proof test on 28 February 2020. SN2 successfully completed both ambient pressure and cryogenic proof tests in early March 2020 and was subsequently decommissioned. Starship Serial Number 3, or SN3, was a Starship prototype intended for static fire tests and low-altitude hops. It was destroyed during testing on 30 April 2020. The liquid oxygen tank in the aft section of the vehicle was inadvertently depressurized, causing the structure to collapse under the weight of the full methane tank above. Starship Serial Number 4, or SN4, was a Starship prototype intended for suborbital testing. The vehicle passed all proof tests and was the first prototype of the Starship program to undergo static fires since Starhopper. SN4 was destroyed on 29 May 2020 after a successful static fire test due to the failure of the ground support equipment's experimental quick disconnect system. SN5 is the first prototype with a fully stacked tank section to successfully complete a low-altitude test hop to 150 meters on 4 August 2020 with a flight duration of 45 seconds. However, for SN5, only one Raptor engine was installed, and no nose cone had been stacked on top of the tank section. SN6 was the second Starship prototype to complete a 150-meter hop with a fully stacked tank section. It repeated the profile of SN5, but appeared to be faster, and the landing was softer than SN5. The test flight of SN6 lasted about 45 seconds after it took off from suborbital Pad A. SN7 was a ship test tank, which tested to its destruction. According to Elon Musk, it tested a new alloy to burst pressure. However, it was significantly smaller than SN7.1. SN8 is the first completely stacked ship, upper stage prototype, which has made a suborbital flight. Although destroyed upon landing due to a header tank pressure issue, the SN8 testing can be considered as a great success, as most of the planned goals have been achieved. SN9, or Serial Number 9 Eileen, was the second fully stacked Starship prototype, which has made a suborbital flight. After a perfect flight to the apogee of 10 kilometers on 2 February 2021, it was destroyed upon landing as one Raptor engine failed to reignite. SN9 is often referred to as Eileen. This name was given to the Starship after it tilted in the high bay. SN10 was the fifth fully stacked Starship prototype. It had been rolled out while SN9 still was at the pad, so for the first time, two Starships were at the launch site. On 3 March 2021, it was launched from Pad A, and after 6 minutes and 21 seconds, it landed on the pad. However, it exploded about 8 minutes later. Nevertheless, SN10's flight was a huge success and progress for the program, as much data had been collected, and it was able to land vertically on the pad, something that SN8 and SN9 failed to do. SN11 was the fourth fully assembled Starship prototype to undergo flight testing. Shortly after reigniting the engines, SN11 encountered a problem that led to an imminent explosion, RUD. Consequently, the prototype was unable to sustain the rapid progress that SpaceX had successfully demonstrated with previous test flights. Nevertheless, setbacks had been anticipated during the early testing phase of an entirely new rocket design. One of the primary objectives of these initial test flights was to gather data on the controlled descent using the flaps, which they undoubtedly achieved with all four prototypes. Starship 15 SN-15, was the first Starship prototype to successfully complete a flight and land safely. The flight occurred between 1724 and 1730 on the 5th of May, 2021. Following its successful landing on its legs at the edge of the pad, there was speculation about the possibility of a second flight due to the relocation of SN-15 to Pad B. However, it was later rolled back to the rocket garden, where the scrapping of SN-15 began on July 26, 2023.